Ever wish you could like hop in a time machine, go back to the 90s, like 1999, and just grab all that digital land before anybody really knew what it was going to be? Like, can you imagine snagging a piece of Amazon, before it was Amazon or some Google before everybody and their grandma was Googling everything?
Right.
That's kind of the opportunity we're going to be diving into today.
Okay.
But instead of time travel, we're talking about Dream.
Digital
Real estate acquisition and management.
Ah, I like it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like the dot-com era, for all its ups and downs,
Yeah.
really mirrors a lot of what's happening in Dream right now.
For sure.
Back then, everybody knew that the internet was going to change the world, but very few people knew how exactly.
Yeah, it was like the Wild West, but online, right?
Yeah.
It was just a huge land grab, everybody rushing to stake their claim.
Absolutely.
Throw a .com on the end of their name and trying to become the next big thing.
Yep, and that led to some interesting business models, shall we say.
Interesting is a good word. Like pets.com.
Oh, yeah. The
delivering pet food.
Millions of dollars burned.
I mean, the idea wasn't terrible.
Not necessarily, but the execution.
Right.
Not so much.
Yeah, pets.com is like the ultimate cautionary tale, right?
Yeah.
Like the poster child for the .com bust.
Yeah.
But it's easy to laugh at them now, right? I mean, hindsight's 20/20.
Sure.
What's really important is that we as dreamers, we got to figure out why some of those companies totally crashed and burned.
Right.
While others became these giants.
Absolutely. And the big takeaway, I think, is that, even in the digital world, those solid business principles, they still apply.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just have a website or an app. You got to have that sustainable way to make money, manage your property, and, play the long game.
Totally. It's not just about, grabbing the shiniest new digital thing.
Nope.
It's about how do you build something that's going to last and be profitable.
Yep.
Like Amazon, how they went from just books online to, pretty much running the world.
They are a fantastic example of playing the long game.
Yeah.
They were willing to operate at a loss for years.
Really?
Yeah, pouring money into building their infrastructure.
Wow.
Expanding what they offered.
Yeah.
It wasn't about short-term profits,
Right.
They had a vision.
Yeah. And it paid off big time.
It certainly did.
They weren't the only ones, though.
Oh, no.
Like eBay, for example.
Yeah, eBay had a little bit of a different approach. Their model was more immediately sustainable.
Oh, how so?
Well, they made money from the very beginning.
Okay.
On transaction fees from their auctions.
Oh, right.
So that gave them a steady revenue stream, even when everything else was crashing down around them.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And they were also smart about expanding strategically.
Okay.
Branching out from just auctions.
Gotcha. So eBay's making bank, while pets.com is like buying up all the pet food for themselves.
Pretty much.
All right. So we've got Amazon, we've got eBay. What about Google?
Google. Well, they had this amazing search algorithm that pretty much dominated the market from early on.
Yeah.
But they didn't stop there.
Okay.
They monetized it brilliantly with Google AdWords.
Right.
Which completely changed the landscape of online advertising.
Yeah. And then they just kept innovating, didn't they?
Yeah.
Gmail Maps, YouTube, like they built a whole digital world.
An ecosystem?
It's crazy how they went from like a simple search bar to online domination.
It's amazing.
But what I'm hearing is that like the common thread here with all these survivors is that they were basically masters of Dream.
Yes.
Before Dream was even like a thing.
Exactly. They understood the core principles
Yeah.
of acquiring and managing
Right.
and monetizing digital assets.
Whether it was a website or a platform or a server.
Whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, understanding their strategies, that gives us a huge advantage, right?
Oh, absolutely.
In navigating the world of Dream today.
Yeah.
We can learn from what they did right.
And what they did wrong.
And hopefully make smarter decisions with our own digital investment.
Exactly.
So we're going to dive into those specific strategies and how they apply to your dream journey.
We are.
Right after this quick break.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's break down some of those strategies from those .com winners and see how they translate to advice for you guys,
Right.
the modern dreamers out there.
All right, so we talked about a sustainable business model being key.
Yeah.
But what does that actually look like when we're talking dream?
Yeah.
Is it as simple as, build it and they will come?
I wish. If only it were that easy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, remember pets.com website was there, but the model just wasn't there.
It is flawed.
They were focused on growth, but without any real way to make money.
Yeah.
So for Dream, a sustainable model, that means you got to have multiple ways
Right.
to generate income from your digital assets.
So instead of putting all our eggs in one basket, like just relying on ad revenue from a website,
Exactly.
we should be thinking about diversifying our income streams.
Diversify.
Okay, so give me an example.
Sure. So let's say you have an e-commerce store, right?
Okay.
Now, instead of just selling products directly,
Mm-hmm.
you could create online courses
Oh, interesting.
related to those products.
Okay.
You could build an email list
Right.
and promote special offers to them.
Makes sense.
You could even partner with other businesses for affiliate marketing.
So it's kind of like having multiple tenants in a property, right?
Yeah.
Each paying rent.
That's a great analogy.
So it creates a more stable income.
It does. You're not relying on just one source.
Good. But even with a solid business model, things can still go wrong, right?
Oh, of course.
I mean, look at the dot-com crash.
So many companies.
Gone.
Even some with good ideas.
So what's the lesson there?
Cash flow.
Cash flow.
Go manage it effectively. Even if you have a great product or service,
Yeah.
if you don't have enough cash on hand,
Right.
you're not going to survive the tough times.
So it's not just about making money.
Nope.
It's about managing it wisely.
Exactly. You got to think about your operating expenses,
Mm-hmm.
reinvesting profits,
Okay.
building up reserve
The unexpected.
for the rainy day. Exactly.
So it's like maintaining a physical property, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't ignore a leaky roof or a broken window.
You got to keep things in good shape.
Right. And in Dream, we need to be doing the same thing with our digital properties.
Absolutely. Assessing them regularly,
Okay.
looking for areas to optimize,
Mm-hmm.
making sure your expenses aren't getting out of control.
So this is all starting to sound a lot like,
Like running a business.
yeah.
Because it is. It's just applied to the digital world.
Okay, so the fundamentals, they're universal,
They are.
whether it's a physical store or an online empire.
You gotta understand profit margins, customer acquisition costs, return on investment,
All that good stuff.
all the fundamentals.
All right, so we've got sustainable business models.
Yes.
We've got cash flow management.
Uh-huh.
What else can we learn from these dot-com giants?
Well, one of the biggest things that set the survivors apart was
What's that?
their ability to adapt
Adapt?
and innovate.
Okay.
They weren't afraid to experiment with
Mhm.
new technologies, new platforms.
Yeah,
They were always looking for ways to improve,
right.
stay ahead of the curve.
So it's not enough to just set up a website and let it sit there?
Nope. The digital world is constantly changing.
It's moving so fast.
You got to be willing to learn,
Yeah,
adapt, and evolve
to stay relevant.
to stay in the game.
Think about Amazon.
Oh,
They started as a bookstore,
humble beginnings.
but they didn't stop there.
They just kept going.
They expanded into pretty much everything.
Everything you can imagine.
Launched their own streaming service.
Right.
And then like revolutionized cloud computing.
With AWS.
It's incredible.
It is.
They were always pushing the boundaries
always looking for new opportunities.
to create value,
And they weren't afraid to take risks.
even if those risks seemed crazy at the time.
That willingness to embrace innovation,
Yeah,
that's what every dreamer needs.
that's what sets them apart.
The digital world is always evolving.
And the ones who would tap the fastest.
They're the ones who win.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about, what makes a digital venture successful and sustainable.
Right.
But I think the question on everybody's mind is, how do we spot the next Amazon
Yeah.
or Google before they become giants?
Right.
How do we separate the hype from the real deal?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Right.
There's no crystal ball, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think the principles of Dream,
Mm-hmm.
they can give you a framework, at least,
Okay.
for evaluating those opportunities.
So it's about applying those .com lessons
Exactly.
that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
All right, so let's say, I come across this hot new website or app,
Okay.
and everybody's going crazy for it.
Yeah.
What are the first things I should be looking at through that dream lens?
Well, I would start with the business model.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Is there a clear path to profitability?
Right.
Don't get distracted by the bells and whistles
Yeah.
or a huge user base.
Right. You got to dig a little deeper.
Yeah, look under the hood.
How does this thing actually make money?
Exactly.
And is it going to
What's
last?
that key?
So like we said before, it's about multiple revenue streams,
Yeah.
not just relying on one thing, like ad revenue.
Which can be very unpredictable.
For sure.
Okay, so you've looked at the business model.
Yeah.
Now take a look at the management team.
Okay.
Do they have experience?
Mm-hmm.
Have they done this before?
A track record.
Exactly. And are they adaptable?
Okay.
Are they innovative?
They got to be able to pivot.
Yes. Are they just chasing trends? Or are they building something with a long-term vision?
So it's kind of like investing in real estate, right?
It is.
You want to make sure the property is well managed.
Yeah, you want someone who knows what they're doing.
And that there's a plan for the future.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got the business model, we've got the management team. Anything else?
Yeah, one more thing.
Okay.
Don't underestimate the power of community.
Community.
Is there a passionate community forming around this digital asset?
Okay.
Are people engaged?
Are they excited about it?
Excited.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, a strong community
can be a huge asset.
Especially in the digital world.
Absolutely. Word of mouth is everything.
It can make or break you.
It really can.
So it's like having a built-in marketing team.
Yes.
That actually loves what you're doing.
Exactly.
They're your biggest fan.
Your advocates, your evangelists.
This has been incredible.
It's been fun.
I feel like I have a whole new playbook for navigating this dream world.
That's the goal.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
You know, the dot-com era taught us that the digital world is full of opportunity.
It is.
But it's also constantly changing.
So fast.
So be bold. Be innovative,
but
always remember those core principles.
And building a sustainable business.
Exactly.
Don't just chase the hype.
Yep.
Build something real.
Build something that lasts.
Build something valuable.
And never stop learning.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll be featuring your success story.
I would love that.
Right here on The Deep Dive.
That's what we're here for.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We'll be back next time with another Deep Dive.
Until then, keep dreaming big.
Keep learning, keep building, and we'll see you soon.